Hey everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and in this video I'm going to share with you information on 3 of my favorite woman-specific herbs. Now the information that I share with you is not meant to be medical advice. This is to entertain and educate you only. It's based on my experience, my research, and is purely my own opinion. So when it comes to taking care of your health and that of your family using herbs and herbal remedies, please make sure that you consult a qualified healthcare practitioner and get the proper guidance when it comes to using these different things in your life. Now, the 3 herbs that I'm going to talk about today are Black Cohosh, Pennyroyal, and Squaw Vine. Many of you might be familiar with these. These are herbs that I consider have a learning curve or a deeper wisdom and knowledge needs to be used with these herbs because a couple of them might be a little bit toxic to the liver in high doses. And I think this is true with almost any plant. There's a lot of things that make them super safe for humans, but there's a lot of deep wisdom that comes along with them too. So let's start with Black Cohosh. Now, Black Cohosh is a perennial plant. It's native to the Middle Eastern part of the U.S., but you can cultivate it anywhere in the U.S. and even most European countries that even have full seasons. Now, it's got a beautiful stalk of flowers, but the part of the plant that you use is the root and the rhizomes. Now, this is also a common name is Bugbane or Bugwort, but this has a special affinity for female issues. And I've got a quick little list of things that this is good for, and I'm going to read this for each of these plants as I go through them. So it's good for menopause, symptom relief like hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, things like that. Menstrual irregularities, bone health. It's got powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. It's good for your cardiovascular health and even your mental health. Now, I've used Black Cohosh a lot, especially during most of my 50s. And as I was going through menopause, and my favorite way to actually use it was in a tea. And I do have it in a capsule product that we make. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But what's nice is you can actually buy Black Cohosh tea. And one of my favorite ways and things to do with this is to add a scoop of maca root powder to my Black Cohosh tea. And the reason I do this is because maca is a very well-known adaptogen. So it helps to balance body chemistry. And it was a perfect thing to add in powder form, stir it in, and I still love adding maca root powder to almost any tea that I drink. So Black Cohosh just has this long, rich history in use for Native American traditions and also herbal remedies for women's issues for centuries. Now, it also makes a beautiful addition to not only your medicinal garden, but your normal flower garden because the flowers are so beautiful. Now, the second plant is Pennyroyal. Now, Pennyroyal has a little bit more, if you will, controversy to it. It contains an alkaloid called pulegium, which in high amounts can cause liver problems. But this is where I like to say that herbs that play really well with other herbs and actually help make them powerful are some of these woman-specific herbs, and Pennyroyal is one of those. Now, Pennyroyal is in the mint family, and the parts of the plant that you use is everything that's above ground. So all the stems, the leaves, and the flowers. Now, Pennyroyal is a little bit easy to mix up with, like, say, something like catnip, because they have a very similar way that they look. So this is where identification and preparation, especially identification, is really, really important. Now, a couple of things. One of the common names for Pennyroyal is squaw mint, and then also mosquito plant, which is very cool because people have used it as a bug repellent. Now, some of the properties and traditional uses of Pennyroyal are digestive aid, menstrual relief, respiratory health, insect repellent, antimicrobial properties, which is really cool, and it also can give you relief from cold and flu symptoms. So Pennyroyal is one of those that I would really, really suggest that you do a deeper dive into some due diligence and some research before you add it in any way to your supplement routine. It can be very powerful in just the right amounts with the right preparation. And this is where you can maybe even connect with a herbalist or someone in your town who's very knowledgeable about this, and just do some of your own due diligence when it comes, especially to adding things like pennyroyal. Now, the third thing I'm going to talk about is a beautiful vine-like plant called squaw vine. Now, this is also known as partridge berry or deerberry, or even one berry, and that's because this viney plant has all these beautiful kind of thick leaves. Are kind of shaped like this, and as the vine grows, the berries are very spare. So like a berry will be here, and then there'll be all this vine, and then you might see another berry way over here on another part of the vine. So it's got these beautiful red berries. Now, the parts of the plant that you use of squaw vine is the whole plant. So the roots, the vines, the leaves, the berries, the whole plant of squaw vine is something that you use. And this is also something that you can grow quite easily. And it is a perennial. It'll come back every year. Same with pennyroyal. It'll come back every year in your garden. So this is one nice thing about a lot of these plants, is that you can actually just grow them. Now, some of the traditional uses of squaw vine are menstrual health and reproductive support, digestive health and anti-inflammatory properties. It has some diuretic effects, and it's good for respiratory support and wound healing. Now, the cool thing about a lot of these plants, and especially these 3 women-specific plants, is that they have a very, very long, rich history in Native American use. These are all Native American plants. And I know that when I was growing up with my dad, and the things that he would teach us, he had a special love of everything Native American, and especially the plants. And a part of that was because of where we live. We live in the West. You know, I grew up in Idaho, and my dad spent a ton of time hiking and traveling and identifying plants all over the West and the Midwest, because this was just something he really loved. And he studied the Native American traditions and the deep wisdom that they had when it comes to using these plants that help us go through these times in our life when we need them. Now, these 3 plants were in my dad's original book, From the Shepherd's Purse. And when I updated his book and turned it in and then made it Be Your Own Shaman, I took his original 48 plants and doubled the content up, actually a little bit more, up to 101 plants. Now, these 3 plants are in my book. They're in my dad's original book, and they're in my book. And the reason that they stay there and that they're so important is because I think that learning about things that go above and beyond simpler herbs like dandelion or echinacea, even herbs and spices like thyme and rosemary and basil and cinnamon, some of these things they're not necessarily a little bit more benign, but in a way, you really can't overdose. You can add as much cinnamon to your meal as you want. I think that some of these deeper wisdom herbs are really important to do your own research about, and to really look at making them a part of something that you have available if you need it. Now, what I'm going to do below this video is I'm going to put the name of the plant. I'm going to put the botanical name and the Latin name so that you can read a little bit more about it just simply below this plant or below this video. And I would love to know what your experience is, or what your bit of knowledge that you might love about a Black Cohosh, pennyroyal, or squaw vine. Now, what we actually do with these 3, and this is one of my dad's original recipes, is he took those 3 plants plus 2 more, and he put them into a beautiful blend that we call Woman's Comfort. And we've been making this for a very, very, very long time. And I know that this helped me 100% through menopause. And also when I was younger, when I was if I had ever had irregular periods, it just got me right back on track. So I would take a look at this, and the way that these are mixed and blended together, it's just a really beautiful blend of Mother Nature's herbs, and with the brilliant mind that was my dad and the way he knew how to put herbs together, this is one of those, what I feel like is a real gift for me as his daughter, all my sisters who benefited, and all the people that have tried this beautiful blend of herbs. So let me know if you have any questions, and let me know what you think about these herbs, and do you grow them? Maybe, I think sometimes herbs that are really powerful but also can have some maybe a little bit of a side effect that's negative, like the pennyroyal. I think this is sometimes something we might avoid having in our gardens just because, right? So I'd love to know what you think about these 3 plants. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.